What's up everyone, welcome to what is probably my craziest extra GM series yet. In this series I'll be trying to do a cheese or crazy strategy for every single unit. The catch is that I only get one attempt at each cheese. Throughout this series I'm gonna have to be very smart at when I use which unit, as some are obviously way stronger in early cheeses than others. Proxy Marines, for example, is a build that I would rather save for later on when I'm a higher MMR, because that's actually pretty strong. Broodlord Rush, on the other hand, would be very smart to execute early on as we're still in lower MMR. When all the unit options are exhausted, we will see if we manage to get Grandmaster. Let's begin. Alright, the first game of the day is against a, well, it has a Master's border, but that's definitely a bug. That is not Master's MMR. I think that is probably between Gold and Platinum or something. I'm not quite sure. Now, let's see, guys. We're playing as a Zerg and we are Protoss. I need to use, ideally, the worst possible unit at the start here. I think the earliest I've ever lost in one of my challenges, X2GM, is probably the third game, I want to say, which means that this game I should be relatively safe, but I do have to do a pretty ridiculous build. Now, I was thinking about a couple things that could be annoying for this challenge. I think the unit I'm going to do is the Sentry, by the way. Sentry or the Colossus. I feel like Colossus could be pretty cool on this map, actually, but I do like Sentries as well. I think we're going to go for the Colossus. Sentry sounds a little stronger than that, so I can use that later. But there's a couple of problems for this series, potentially, which I could really use your guys' feedback on as well. One of them is, for example, if I get cheese before I can, you know, build one of my units, I could either count it for the units that I did build or just not count it. And I'm tempted to just not count it and just kind of think of it as a, you know, I guess it's just like a lucky win. Sometimes I also play against people that just leave instantly because they don't feel like playing against random or Terran, or they I don't know, for some reason they have to go right away. So I think maybe the best thing I can do is just count those games as lucky wins and not count them on the scorecard. I think that makes sense. There's also the thing is that I'm playing random, and it is very likely that I'm gonna finish the units of one race before I, you know, would have finished the others. And then I was wondering if I should end the challenge, or I also had the idea where if that happens, I would let you guys vote on the worst units of the race that I already finished, and I would only be allowed to use those units until I actually finish the entire card. There's a couple of really cool ideas there. I'll let you guys think about it and comment whatever you think. And for now, I'm going to be busy trying to do my Colossus strategy. Now, just for, you know, or just to clarify here, this is not going to be like a super strict challenge. Like, I'm doing Colossus now. That doesn't mean that I'm... Ooh, that's a pretty fast attack. That I'm only allowed to make Colossus. I would just do my absolute best to make the strategy based on Colossus. That's pretty much it, right? So I'm not gonna, you know, play a normal Oracle opening and then shade in some adepts and do some damage and then make one Colossus. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is, for example, go for mass Colossus drops, kind of like that. But I am allowed to just build an adept as I wish. Now, I do have to be a little scared for an attack. Normally, what keeps you safe is actually the Oracle that I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a battery. I'm kind of tempted to make a sentry. I'm probably going to be making a lot of sentries with Protoss because I freaking love building sentries. It's one of my absolute favorite freaking units. Especially with the early hallucination scout, that is awesome. These Zerglies are not going to get in, my friend. Looks like you wanted to give it another shot there. You can keep trying, but it's not going to work. I'm actually going to shade this one across just to see if I can get a little bit of scouting done. That would be nice. And we're going to get the instant Robo Bay. I'm not quite sure what I have to be afraid of with this strategy. I think any kind... Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think I'm going to make a sentry here. You know, I was just about to say I could make an Immortal, but I feel like an Immortal is like a little too strong here. I actually really want to try and do this with my Colossus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start chrono boosting a bunch of sentries and to try to hold it with force shields and then get the Colossus out. I kind of want to make a prism already. I do have a bunch of batteries on the way. Yo, just thinking about it, he could actually go for drones to mine this out. That is a possibility. Let's see, I do have a battery overcharge available, which I have to use now, I believe. Can I kill this, actually? I'm not quite sure if Ravager cocoons die. I actually cannot kill that. That is insane. You can see this? I literally cannot kill that Ravager cocoon. That is pretty insane. Now, I am out of battery overcharge, so I'm going to have to use my probes here. I do not want to do that stay alive for so freaking long. I do not want to use the probes for my gold base here. Actually, I might as well just force field. This is going to be pretty nice. And now I have my prism up, which is not going to be super helpful just yet. I guess this is the best thing I can do. Hold position the probes. Oh man, there's actually a lot of workers coming in here. This is going to be a little bit of a tougher hold than I thought for the first game of the freaking... I'm so happy he didn't go for the pylon yet, by the way. He's probably going to do it now. I do have warp gate here. I can make another sentry. Let me do a little bit of mineral walking over here. That was very poorly done by me, I have to be honest there. That was really not great. Now, I wish I had another battery overcharge, but I don't. And now we are finally going to clean this up. Our economy is in the dumps, but I do have that gold base. I also have a little bit of prism micro that I can do. Really, I only have one force field, so it don't really make a lot of sense to force field that. And here we go. The Colossus is going to take care of business, and then I can send the Colossus across the map now. This was instantly 10 times scarier than I thought it was going to be. And this is kind of what I do to myself. I mean, if you guys have watched me before, you know that I really like playing in the spirit of the challenge, and I don't like making things easy for me. I could have chrono boosted an Immortal there, which would have been very nice, but I really wanted the Colossus to be the hero here. Now, still, despite all that, I really didn't think it was going to be that freaking hard to defend, but here we are. The guys, yes, making spines. Okay. Let's see. What should I do here? I think I should just target the drones with this. Okay, it looks like we're actually significantly behind here. I don't want to lose too much health on that. Let's see, what does he have over here? He does have a Spore Crawler. Spore Crawlers also attack Colossus, by the way. So that is quite annoying. Now, what's nice for me is that he doesn't have a lair yet. I was kind of looking at his base. He was taking all of these gases, and I was like, a lair is going to be devastating for me to go up against. Because he would be able to make a spire right away. But he doesn't have it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a big Sentry Colossus all in on 2 bases. It's not really necessarily a rule, but a kind of, how would I call this? My idea of executing this in the spirit of the challenge is typically to not make more than 2 bases. Because with some builds, you can't really, like for example, a 1-base Colossus drop or 1-base Battlecruiser or whatever. That's just a little too... Can I kill this actually with a Colossus? I think I can barely not kill that. Or barely I can. If I go beyond 2 bases, it starts to feel a little too... too legitimate, I guess. Like, I want my build to stay ridiculous, right? So I think 2 bases is a pretty nice soft limit. Like, if I really have to make a 3rd base, otherwise I'm just throwing the game, then sure, I'll think about it. Now, I should probably get range by now. I was thinking about getting Warp Prism speed, but range might be a little bit better. Now, what's really good about this composition is just the fact that I have a Warp Prism is going to make this so much easier for me. Because Warp Prism is going to help me with the pickup range, right? It's going to help me a lot. Okay, that is actually not really good. Can I... Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, I did abandon my Colossus. Almost died to 2 queens, but it did kill them in the end. Yeah, this was actually beautiful, wasn't it? The force field donut with the battery overcharge. That is an awesome start to this. Well, start to my push, really. Like, I think this is basically where my attack starts. And why I think it's important that we push at a timely fashion is that if my opponent gets a Spire, I'm not sure if it's Mutas or Corruptors that I have to be afraid of, but if my Colossus die, I really just have Sentries. Which are not that bad, right? I love sentries, but I'll probably kill all of those links too if I micro a little bit. Come over here. Where are you going? I actually really want to kill those Zerglings. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get... Oh, here we go. He's still chilling over here. This is fun. Told you guys Warp Prisms are cool. Now, range is actually going to finish in time. I'm going to have 4 Colossus over here. Maybe I should have made it 4 to defend myself a little better on 2 bases. I feel like this attack is going to be incredibly strong unless he has all of the Corruptors up already. Like, I'm really not sure. He hasn't really made much. The lair is obviously done as we expected. The Spire is not done yet. Okay, so we do have a pretty sick window over here. Here we go. Okay, I just have the force field to not die to a couple Zerglings. I think the smart way to do this, I played a lot against Protoss, is just... Okay, there we go. He's just going to surrender because he sees the army is big. His supply was also very low. What I was going to say is I played a lot against Protoss, and the best Protoss players are baboons, honestly. When they were just like, I don't care about the creep, I'm going to walk straight into your main base and do damage, because I'm sure exactly he was saving all of his money for that. And that, well, turned out to be the right strategy, because if I waited here, maybe the Corruptors come out and we're in trouble. Now, the reason why I won this game, if you're curious after the start, is just because of the static defenses. I do always like to give a little bit of advice and stuff. He spent 9 drones making spines and spores, well, he could have just been mining pretty comfortably and defend the Colossus with the Prism. Then he would have been really far ahead, and it should have been a relatively easy game for him. That was his biggest mistake. For us, that is our first dub with the Colossus. Let's keep it going. All right, the second game is against Phil Collins, another Zerg player. Now, let's see. What would I like to do against a Zerg? I'm not 100% sure, actually. Now, we got Protoss again. I'm already starting to get a little scared. Because there was a little streak I had at some point where I think I got 19 Protoss games out of 25 with random. If that would happen now, then I'm just straight up out of units, which is obviously a bit problematic. Now, let's see. We have used the Colossus already. I am thinking about going for Phoenixes here. Like, Phoenix actually a pretty good unit, but I wouldn't say it's a good unit for cheeses, you know? Like, or any crazy strategy that I'm gonna do. Like, what I'm thinking is I can probably go 3 Stargate Phoenix on 2 base and just lift everything. If he doesn't see it coming, then, well, that's going to be pretty sick, right? Like, he's going to lose 1 million drones, probably a bunch of overlords, and that's going to put us in a great spot. If he does see it coming, he's probably just going to make a ton of spores, and then I have Phoenixes. That can, well, I mean, honestly, I don't want to undersell the Phoenix. Like, the Phoenix in that case would still be a good unit. You can still kill any unit that is outside of spore color range, so units between the 2nd and 3rd base, or an overlord that's a little too far in the map, stuff like that, right? But we're gonna have to see. I think 3 Stargate Phoenix is a build that Protoss players would sometimes play a very long time ago. I want to say like maybe like 2018, 2017 or so. I remember that build, Triple Stargate Oracle was also a thing at some point. But the Phoenix is the build I'm interested in. I did like that build back then. I never did it, so I have no idea how that works, but I'm sure we can figure it out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably just make a couple of adepts. Actually, I could make this a really crazy macro game by playing Phoenix Cannon. And just take like 1 million bases with cannons while only spamming Phoenixes and lifting everything. Now, that would be an incredibly difficult game to end. I mean, obviously, at some point, I would be able to make something that can kill buildings, right? Like, I'm not gonna just let the buildings live forever. But that would be a very interesting game. I talked about it a bit before. I don't remember what video that was, or maybe it was even a stream, where cannons are really important in PvZ. You might not really think about this, but a lot of times when I'm watching a really good Protoss player play, they would stay low on supply and just add more cannons to their 3rd base and stuff. And that feels a little weird, because you're like, well, a unit can also shoot, but it can also move out on the map, so why wouldn't you rather just make a unit? But cannons for 150 minerals only actually have a very good amount of damage. So if I play Phoenix Cannon, it is not an unlikely scenario that my opponent, let's say, he gets a little triggered by what I'm doing. That happens like every game, so that is definitely very likely. And decides to attack me. And even if my supply is low, if I made sure to make a lot of cannons, that could actually be a pretty cool strategy, you know? I'm not quite sure when I should add the gases and stuff. Like, Phoenixes, when you chrono them, you actually build them very fast. So I don't think I want to make the 2nd or 3rd Stargate just yet. I think 3 Adepts is going to be fine, right? If this is a Bailing Bust, that would be problematic, by the way. Like, this is the worst possible setup against the Bailing Bust. Adepts with a weak wall. Like, that is not going to be pleasant at all. Guess I'll use this Phoenix to scout around a little bit while I make more probes. I guess soon I should be able... I could also get upgrades. Should I get... Could have gotten +1 air even instead of the Warp Gate. I'm not quite sure that would be smart, but it would be fitting to the challenge, of course. Let's say we found Overlord number 1. There's no link speed yet. I think we're probably not going to be getting Bailing Busted here, but who knows. I'm going to Chrono Boost this one, and now is my time to get the gases. I think, judging by how much money I have, that seems like the right time to do it. Now, I'm not quite sure if normally you want to show your Phoenixes like this. I think it might be way smarter if anyone's interested in copying this style, if you think it's really cool or just it sounds cool. I don't think you typically show your Phoenixes. I think something that you could do is, for example, make 1 Oracle. Just show the Oracle. Maybe you could make 1 Phoenix to get the Overlord off the pillar, right? That's okay. And then you hide all the other Phoenixes. I think that sounds pretty reasonable. So here I'm going to go for Stargate number 2. I really should get that Forge up. Like, I'm really scared of a Bailing Bust, man. Like, I didn't really think about this, but a Bailing Bust would be pretty terrifying here. Now, I could have decided to lift up that Queen. Maybe I'm a little traumatized from playing against Queens, and I know how strong they are, but I think there might have been a little opportunity there for that. Now, I really think I'm going to go for my cannon strategy. It's going to be a little more macro than what I was talking about in the last game, but I just think it's an awesome strategy for the units, right? Like, it just fits. Let's be honest, it just fits. Like, a Phoenix all-in, I could do that with, like, mass Zealots, but then the Zealots would put in a lot of work. And this way, the Phoenixes and the cannons are going to do everything, which is just awesome. Now, this is already a pretty good start for me here. I'm going to be able to kill this queen pretty fast. This is where the Phoenixes are good. Like, you need to stay on your creep. You really have to stay on your creep pretty much at all times. Or, sorry, not creep, I'm used to it being on creep, but in spore crawler coverage is what I wanted to say. Now, he doesn't have spore crawlers at the front. He's building it now. Now, the funny thing about that is that there's nothing I can actually do about it. Normally, you would think if you make the spore crawlers that close to the units already being there, you can just deny it, but there's nothing I can do against that spore crawler building, right? Like, I'm just gonna have to wait for it to finish. I can try to get a little more value on the outside of the spore. Maybe I can bait him. Look at this. He's getting baited so hard right now. I should really be careful for the bailing bust now, by the way, because he might do it reactively, right? Like, if you guys saw that, he's sending more links across the map. Let's see. Okay, so it's still just Zerglings. That is nice for me to see. I do want to take my third base at some point. I guess I can also just make more cannons here. All right, let me get my +1 air attack up. Let's see. Oh, there are Bailings morphing. Yeah, okay. Dude, I'm so happy I saw this, because I think I have enough Phoenixes to lift all of those pretty much. Let's see. I'm going to be able to kill all of those one by one. He needs to go in really fast. I don't have to lift all of them. I just need to make sure that he only has a couple left. If it's a couple, they're not going to do enough damage to go through the battery. Exactly. There we go. We have the Knight, the Baning all in, and that is going to put us in a really good economic position here. Also means I can take my third base because he lost a lot of his links. Keep in mind, you use links to morph the Baling. So beside the fact that he, lost Zerglings, he also made Balings with them. I'm going to be able to lift another one. I don't think I have enough energy to be lifting queens over here. Now he's making drones. Clearly in the mood to transition from this. I can kill this queen as well. Like, look how many freaking Phoenixes I have. Oh, this is so beautiful, man. I mean, not for him. I bet he's making so many spores. He's like, okay, this dude he's insane. He's only gonna make these freaking Phoenixes. Now, it wouldn't be a crazy idea at this point to just fly in and kill as many drones as I can. Like, keep in mind, similar to what you saw in the last game. I'm actually completely out of lifts, by the way. That's crazy. What you saw in the last game, making a lot of static defense as Zerg. For some people, it is more expensive than they realize. Like, you are using a drone for it too. So the fact that he's making this many spores, he has 2 here as well. His economy is already not that great. And so if I dive in, even if I lose a Phoenix for it, which I did there, I think it's going to be a pretty decent trade. I'm going to make sure that I kill the queen so he cannot inject again for more drones, of course. Now, the overlords are here. I think I can kill all of the overlords, actually. Look at this. This is going to be very painful. Need to make sure I pull these, low HP Phoenixes to the back. Oh, man, this is so pain. He's actually going to be supply blocked, even though his supply is already low. Oh, my God. This kind of feels like the Penguin Brothers Hunter version, but even more brutal somehow. I'm just going to use the battery overcharge on this. I don't think anything's really going to die here. He's going to try to kill my workers, but I have more than enough stuff here. A little bit of hold position micro will do the trick for me as well. I can even start lifting Zerglings now, I think, because look at it. I have so many Phoenixes. Oh, man. This guy is going to have Phoenix nightmares for the rest of his life after this game, I'm pretty sure. I think because I killed so many links, I could even take another base. And there we go. All right. Well, this was absolute freaking torture. I don't think there are games that are much more torturous than this, to be honest. 117 against 36 supply. He was down to 50 supply. He couldn't make anything. He had so much gas, which could have been spent on, like, infestors, for example. But even if he had an infestation pit, he wouldn't be able to build this. Look at this. He's going to even drop down. At the end of this, he's going to have 40. He has 1 overlord. 0. I actually killed all of them. I don't think I've ever done that before. I thought he had 1 overlord, but he actually has 0 overlord. It is just 3 hatcheries. Well, this was an absolutely beautiful game. I do hope we get a different race next game, so we don't run out of Protoss options. But the Colossus done, the Phoenix done. Let's play the final game. The final game is against another Zerg, and we got Protoss again, judging by the tooltip here. Now, let's see. We have used Colossus and Phoenixes. What is going to be the final one of the day? There's actually a couple high-tech units that you would expect are not that good in these cheeses, but they actually are. Like, with Tempest, for example, I will have an absolutely insane strategy with Tempest against Zerg that I could probably even beat pro Zergs with, you know? Similar with carriers. Well, carriers I wouldn't be able to beat a pro with, but I could beat a pretty good Terran with proxy carriers, I would say. Mothership Rush. I guess I would do like a 2-base mothership rush together with gateway units. That's also a pretty decent strategy. So I'm really looking for the weakest thing, you know, that I can do a build with. Actually, I think I know what it is. I think it's going to be a storm drop rush, what I'm going to do. I feel like... I mean, High Templars in general, very strong unit, especially against Zerg, right? Most Protoss players love High Templars. Most Zerg players hate them. But rushing them as a storm drop might not be the best strategy there, so that's what I'm gonna do. And maybe I could even combine it a little bit with my strategy from the last game, where I just get like a lot of cannons up, right? And just play like mass Templars. I feel like that would be pretty awesome. Now, I have no idea how this build would work, by the way. This also looks like a pretty bad wall. No, it's gonna work out. It's bad, but it's gonna work out. If there is one thing you guys should definitely never copy from my Protoss, okay? It's my walls, okay? They're terrible. I admit it. I know they are. They're just... Very often, it's not even a wall. Very often, the pylon's in the wall. I feel like if you really want to play good Protoss, it makes a lot of sense to spend some time, right, learning the walls. Whether it's walling the Reaper Cliff against Terran, or the front against Zerg, or whatever. Protoss walls, super, super important. And yeah, I don't know, guys. Sometimes I looked into how I should make a good wall, but then I kind of, you know, I forget it anyway, or there's like a new map or whatever, and then it's all already gone. Now, let's see. I guess I should make the Twilight Council first, because I need to make the Templar Archives and Research Storm, right? So I think it makes sense to do that. Now, my opponent seems like he's kind of chilling back at home. So I'm just going to send my Adept across, get a little bit of scouting done, and I guess... ideally, I skip the battery. Like, so far, I've been playing very safe by making, like, blind batteries and stuff, but ideally, you don't really commit that much into making blind static defense. It's kind of what I've been, well, I wouldn't say criticizing, but I've been giving my opponents advice on, is making more static defenses than you need. Well, in the last case, in the last game, it was a little more... You know, it wasn't that bad, because realistically, he needed more spores at the start, and then he started making them when he shouldn't have been making them anymore. That's kind of what happened, but all in all, it wasn't so bad. Well, let's see. I guess I don't need that many gateways. How many Templars would I need? 2? I mean, it depends on if I also don't want to die to a potential attack at the same time, which I don't, but... you know, I kind of have to choose here. I have to pick my poison here, guys. I don't think I can do it all with this build, you know. I could go for the blind battery. I think that is probably the smartest idea. I could also go for the forge already. I feel like just one battery is going to make this all a lot nicer. Warp Gate's going to finish somewhat soon. I can't afford Storm yet. All in all, it's looking like a pretty decent build, I think. It was Storm 200, 200, right? Yeah, Storm is 200, 200. I can start that pretty soon. Then I can warp in 2 Templars as soon as this gateway finishes. Well, it's going to be a little short on gas, but it's also not that bad. I didn't really want to make the 4th gas, because I thought it would be a little too expensive, right? To do that at the start. But I still have to make a Warp Prism. Templars are going to gain energy while they're in the Prism. I could also make 1 Stalker. Is that crazy? I think that might actually be crazy. I mean, he already scouted everything anyway. It doesn't really matter if I warp a Stalker now. I don't think it does. So I'm gonna make 2 Templars over here as soon as I can. This is gonna be a very fast storm drop, by the way. Sadly, he saw it. If he didn't see it, this would have been absolutely freaking brutal, right? This would have been so brutal to just lose like 16 drones instantly. Storm drops are a bit hit or miss, by the way. Like, sometimes you do a storm drop and you're wondering... Why do people even make this unit, you know? I mean, obviously you should make it because it's good, but sometimes you can wonder. Storm drops. Well, Storm itself, the area is smaller than it looks. I'm not quite sure if you guys have ever paid attention to this, but a Storm, the AoE is not actually that big. Like, the outer parts of the Storm don't actually deal damage. So if you storm a mineral line, sometimes the workers just barely get away, and then... you just wasted your entire opening for nothing. I could also feedback his queens. I think that'd be kind of funny to do, actually, but I'm not going for it. Okay, so this guy's making a lot of roaches. Here we go. It's looking pretty good. Okay, that's beautiful. The entire mineral line is gone. Yep. That is exactly what we wanted. Now, I'm a little scared because of the gases that he has. Yeah, this kind of looks like it could be a fast spire or something, right? I do not want to get owned by a fast spire. I'm just going to start making cannons already. I'm already working on a lot of high Templars here. But this kind of build is really, really cool. I also know that you guys absolutely loved it when I did the sentry. Oh, can I save this actually? I'm not sure I can. I can make an Archon, I guess. I can also just send this back home. I think those are going to have... Oh, they already have storms. Actually, I'll just put one storm over here. I don't think I want to use another storm. I could... I don't think I want to, though. Probably get a couple more gateways. There's something... Oh, there's roaches out here. That is a little annoying to see. There we go. That's going to be a nice storm. These don't actually have a storm, unfortunately. It is going to be a little tough. When are these going to get a storm? Pretty soon, actually. But not quite yet. A little bit of micro should help me do the trick here. There we go. That's going to stay alive. And I can drop an Archon in between the shots. No! It actually died. How? That's insane. Oh my god, I almost have a storm, guys. I legit almost have one. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's so big. Oh my goodness, that is a storm. Why could I not click on that? It doesn't have anything to do with the game, by the way. I just suck. I think I was clicking on the gas somehow. I don't know how that happened. Let's see, I'll drop the high HP Zealot first. Good target fire by him, though. If I can just get the Zealot on the roaches, that's going to be really good. I can even drop them on top. Here we go. Oh my god, this is the craziest freaking micro ever. This looks so stupid. Okay, I'm making a couple of Templars here. I guess I'll have to make one Archon with that at least. Okay, let's see. I'll just drop this Templar to bait some fire. Well, this is going to be a pretty hard defense. I mean, I should stop defending this. I mean, this guy is clearly very committed to this. I think I should have stopped defending this a while ago, actually. Thinking about it, that's definitely a bit of a mistake by me. I don't think I will need much more over here. That base is now gone. All right, so honestly, if he didn't attack right at that moment, I feel like this would have been an absolutely amazing start. Now it definitely has been demoted to, well, it's really not the work. Like, I killed a lot of workers with my Storm Drop, and he made all these units. Keep that in mind, right? So I don't think his economy is actually very good at all. I think this might still be a good start. I know that sounds crazy, but we gotta do a little storm. Okay, there we go. Didn't get too much done with it, but I'm gonna get another storm pretty soon. Actually, I'm gonna get 3 storms pretty soon. Oh, he still has that freaking Overlord. I never killed this Overlord? Man, I'm washed up. I like how he's flying to the pillar. The Warp Prism is right there, man. Here we go. Store! Yes. Maybe I should go for a counterattack? Is that... Like, the Archon, I don't think it's gonna do anything here, realistically. Storm? Yes. Okay, dude, the storms are actually popping up so hard. Oh, barely didn't have it on that front Templar, I was afraid. Let's see. I think this Archon, I'm just gonna drop it over here. Maybe I can... Oh, yes! Oh, he's walking to the storms! That's so painful, bro! Stop! Oh my god, he's walking into the cannons now, too. Battery overcharge. Storm! Oh my god, everything is gone pretty much already. Look at that. That is actually brutal. Did I kill the last Ravager, too? I'm not quite sure I killed the last one. That was actually brutal. And I'm gonna warp some more Templars over here. Morph those into Archons. Walk all these Templars across the map. As you do, right? That's just how the game works. I need to get these Archons to actually splash damage these queens. I have to run away with these, sadly. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna be killing anything there. Roaches are pretty good against Archons after all. Okay, let's try to resaturate this. That base sadly didn't get up. I'll be able to do one storm over there. That should be enough. You can go back here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I could warp in some Zealots too, actually. Like, I'm pretty much out of storms here at this point. No, he had queens there. Oh, that sucks. I wasn't paying attention because I was like, there's no way he's actually standing there with anything. But I think he just forgot about his queens and he left them in the back over there. And that is painful. Now, he still does not have a lot of workers. Like, my economy is still pretty comparable to his, actually. He's gonna find... Dude, this guy has been finding my bases every single time. And it's annoying. Okay, let's see. I don't have any more storms here, sadly. I'm about to get them. I can't tell exactly when. There's one storm. Okay, very nice. Another one. Look, the storms are hurting him so bad. But I don't have anything over here. Let's see. Another storm. I need to be really careful with these. Let's warp some. Oh, no. He actually got them. I'm going to have to do this. Yo, can you... Thank goodness. Okay, there we go. That was close. Gonna save 3 of them, I believe. Exactly. Might have to get charged. I didn't want to make immortals, but I guess at this point it is probably time for me to build them. I hope... Are you going to be stuck? These guys are not stuck. They're just stupid, right? Yeah, okay. They look like they were stuck, but they were just dumb guys. Don't worry about it. All right, well, these games have been quite something, honestly, so far. All of them, step by step, have been quite freaking something. You guys realize how lucky we are that this guy never made road speed? I saw the lair years ago. I think this guy has forgotten road speed his entire time. At some point you could say, okay, he couldn't afford road speed, right? But here, it is, I mean, it's just... He just forgot it all this time. And you know how hard it is to storm freaking road speed roaches? When you only have Templars? Like, I know if I have like a bunch of Immortals, that's a different story, but... oh my god. I feel like I've been so freaking lucky this game. Okay, now I do have a pretty cool idea here for the follow-up, guys. So, High Templars are... I don't have a storm there, sadly. Please click! Oh my god, I actually suck. I actually do suck. I thought I was being dramatic, but I do suck. I was gonna say, I have a pretty cool strategy. Oh, this is so bad for him. This is really bad. Yeah, okay, perfect. There we go. When you play against roaches, like, even if it's like Ravager Ling Bane, for example, which is usually the follow-up to roaches, it is a really good strategy to have a Prism with 4 Templars. It is very underutilized, even in pro play. But if they don't have that quick anti-air like Hydras or something like this... Now, I guess it's not really a common strategy anymore at all to play Banelings against Protoss. Nowadays, people play Lurkers. But just having it in the Prism keeps them so freaking safe. Now, so far, I've been microing this so poorly that a lot of you guys are going to think that is the worst strategy ever because you can't micro it. But just trust me when I say that it was on me, okay? This... This micro, no one else deserves to be blamed for this. Not a build. Okay, it's Hydras now. Then I think that's going to change a lot. I feel like I probably want to attack. Because I don't think he's going to kill that with the Queens. Can't believe I lost those freaking 2 Archons in the Prism earlier, by the way. I think I want to attack because I don't want him to get Lurkers. But like, I have a decent composition against Lurker. I have so many Templars right now. It's pretty absurd, actually. I think I have 10 Templars. And wait, I don't have a Cybernetics core? When did I lose that? I guess to the Ravagers, but how did I not notice until now? That is pretty absurd. Well, let's see. I want to make... Okay, dude, for a second, I thought that my probes were still in the Prism. Now, with this many storms, I feel like we should be able to kill Hydra. Unless he has Lurkers already, of course. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put... And there's no way he's going to kill those. Here we go. I have so many storms. Okay, that's going to hurt real bad. Yeah. Oh my god, storms. Storms are good, guys. Storms are pretty good. I don't have rapid fire on the Warpins, unfortunately. He did get a pretty decent attempt to split there, but he still got absolutely obliterated by the storms. And that tends to kind of happen. I told you guys it was a good unit, didn't I? Storm drop, maybe not the best thing ever. Storms in general, powerful. And I feel like this Zerg is a little bit shell-shocked. How could he lose to a guy only making Templars for, well, I don't know how long it was. 10 minutes that I was only making Templars and slow Zealots? That hurts. Definitely hurts. I feel like his army was so big, if he didn't take that fight poorly, we actually would have been in trouble still, to be honest. Like, do you guys realize that, I mean, right now my army looks massive because of the Warpins, but before the Warpins, I had basically nothing anymore, right? Like, it was just a couple of low-energy Templars and a couple of Zealots, and that was really it. I feel like if he took a slightly better fight, he would have actually owned me there. But we do get it done. And oh my goodness, that was a crazy freaking game. I feel like I was microing against like 5 roaches with 2 Templars and 1 Prism and 1 slow Zealot for like 20 minutes there. I know the game wasn't that long, but it definitely felt like it. And there we go. Now, those were all very, very tricky games. The Phoenix one was very comfortable, to be honest, but the first one, the Colossus and here the High Templars one, are very tricky. And you can tell that I'm very excited to get these units out of the way before we get to really high MMR. The MMR goes up really fast on new accounts. I think I'm already like 3.6k or something like that. I'm already on the border of Master League, or maybe I already am. But we got a couple of units out of the way for the next episode. I hope we get some non-Protoss races, though, so we don't get forked by running out of Protoss units early. But that is 3 units done. The Colossus, the Phoenix, and the High Templar. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. If you did, give a video a like, subscribe to the channel, and see y'all for the next one. Adios.